What's going on, everybody? This is Commander Surface with Delta Security. I just wanted to make another quick video, kind of go over from the last one about the differences between a security officer and a security guard. So, security officer patrols the streets, private properties, they're back and forth between sites, dealing with drug addicts living there, dealing with drug dealers, dealing with domestic violence issues, and majority of them, those are the ones that are risking their lives just to try to control an issue. We're here for, of course, the property management companies, the managers, the employees, the residents, but we're putting our lives on the line. We're not walking around scanning barcodes and, eating at a food court. Security guards, it tells you right there. They're not protecting people. They're not protecting properties with residents. And you figure most of these residents, like one of the managers told me, in an apartment we patrol, there's 400 or more people that live on these properties. It's pretty much a small town, and when you're patrolling it, you're the sheriff of that town. They have to listen to you when it comes down to you intervening in their personal issues. If they're being loud, they're partying, they're having a good time, and it's late at night, people start complaining, and you got to go there and deal with intoxicated people. And it's the same as law enforcement or other agencies that got to deal with those things. Carjackings, people breaking into apartments trying to steal other people's things that they worked hard for. That's what security officers do. Security guards, are those guys in the white shirts. Normally they're going from picture to picture in a mall, scanning a little barcode saying I got my ass up and I did something. That's a security guard. They're guarding an actual property, and they're making sure that people aren't damaging that personal property. They don't have firearms, they don't have gear, they have keys. They don't have OC spray half the time. They don't interact with people or anybody that's in a store unless they're caught shoplifting, and half the time all they do is call for the police. And even some of the malls, at least in a couple counties I know of, the police station is literally right outside the mall line, less than 1 minute away, and they just wait for backup. They follow them around, and they tell the officers and dispatchers where they are, approximately what they stole. Or if they feel man enough, or whatever the case is, you get the guys that do have handcuffs, and they'll detain them, usually unlawfully, try to search and see what they stole, or they'll find out on a body cam. But nonetheless, those are the guys that are just guarding merchandise, and they're guarding private property, not people. They're not out here looking like we are, driving around making sure there's not an apartment fire going on, because when that happens, we have to actually go and knock on doors. We have to get residents out. We put our lives on the line. That is why we're officers. Security guards, they stay outside of a fire in a mall or a food court, and they tell people to please run out. And when things get a little bit too hot for them, they're running just along with them. That's what a security guard is. So this video really is to kind of put out there the terminology of what the difference is. Because, I've came across it, and it clearly says officer on my vest that we wear. They're like, you're just a security guard. And I says, no, you might want to learn how to read, because I'm an officer. I fall under the same laws. If you hit me, you hit an officer. You didn't hit some random guy with a key that wears a white shirt and works at a company. You see what I'm saying? There's a big difference between security guard, mall cop, whatever you want to call them, and an actual officer. We protect people. We don't just protect properties. We save lives when it comes down to it, you know? Like I said, if there's a fire and we don't do something about it, we can go to jail. We can get charges because we did not step up. And, you know, a lot of officers out there may not know that. A lot of officers out there may just think, oh, patrolling a car all day, you know, look cool with a vest and my gun and badge and OC spray or taser or whatever that, you know, whatever's on your belt. But at the same time, when something happens and they don't do something about it, they don't try to save lives or try to help, same as first responders do, they go to jail. And, you know, as far as I know, that's technically manslaughter at that point, because you're not getting people out of harm's way. I mean, that's your job. That's what you signed up to do. That's why you went through a course. You went through a class. You went through, you know, the background checks. You went through all of that for what? Because you thought you could be lazy and not help? I mean, we're literally in this industry to help people, not just protect clothes. If that was the case, we'd work at a mall or we'd work at a shopping center for loss prevention. But let me know if you guys agree with this, you know, and I think it's about time that, you know, us as officers and us as guards, you know, there's nothing wrong with being a security guard. There's nothing wrong with being an officer. They're in the same industry, you know, and we all have to look out for one another. So, no, don't get me wrong by explaining the two differences between the two, but, you know, security guards, you know, eventually a lot of those guys become law enforcement, or they, you know, become in the sheriff's department and detention centers. So, you know, these guys use it as a stepping stone a lot of times, and that's understandable. And there's nothing wrong with it. But the terminology from, you know, people doing dumb things on the job, doing dumb stuff to people at the mall when they shoplift or, you know, wrongfully detain them, you know, that's putting a bad name out for the whole industry. And when people see us, they don't really look at us. They think we're just security guards. And it's not the case when we're on the street, outside, patrolling. You know what I mean? So I just wanted to make that video and kind of change the definition. You know, and not so much change the definition. It's always been what it is. But change the mindset of people and the way that they see it. Because there is a difference between us. We're in the same industry, but we're two different entities, two different units of an industry. So leave some comments down below, you know, send me an email, a message on YouTube, whatever, you know, whatever, and follow us on Facebook even at Delta Security Solutions Protection Officer. You type in those two things, it'll pull right up. You know, and it's on the vest. So, you know, look us up, follow us on Facebook, follow us on YouTube, like, subscribe, and share, and we'll see you on the next video. Take care, guys, and be safe.